Good evening everybody and welcome along then to round 7 of the championship for the F1 2017 NORL F1 championship. Welcome along ladies and gentlemen, we are here from the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Canada and we are in qualifying. Qualifying has just started. There is about 12 minutes of the session to go and the guys are just getting ready, applying the setups that they've worked so hard all week to develop. Some guys prefer to develop their own and other guys, you know, like to just take on one they find from the internet of some sort, usually from the likes of TRL Limitless and other big names like that. We're watching Callum J. Spencer head out on track while we are just loading up the information, because we have some news to report on this league for you guys, and it is the fact that we have, if I can just get up my little sheet here, we have the likes of Rich Gore is returning after a long hiatus. He hasn't raced since Australia, but he's returning for this race and racing for Sauber again. KB Killerzone has returned despite originally leaving the series for other commitments, but he's returned. But this time he will be driving in a Haas. We'll see if we can find him for you. Here he is. He's driving a Haas. He used to drive the McLaren, which Callum J. Spencer is now driving, and KB and Callum, there's one to know, KB Killerzone and Callum Spencer have not exactly seen eye to eye, so there'll be a big rivalry between them. Another one is this man Gareth Lennon got into a bit of a dispute with Super Ninja Skills over their collision last time out at Monaco, which I'm sure you all saw. It was a pretty feisty race, and I believe hopefully Nibbler will be racing this time instead of being a little in-chat guider. So, excuse me. So we have 9 minutes of qualifying left. We've got quite a while yet before it starts getting to crunch time. So let's see if we can go find who is starting their fast lap. So Callum J. Spencer is out on his first flying lap. We will watch this and get the spectator menu up. See if we can get any interesting things for you. We'll get the telemetry up for you. There you go. And the lap data. So let's watch this qualifying lap. First attempt from Callum J. Spencer with the Welsh helmet. The colours of the Welsh flag are the inspiration for his helmet, of course. We ride on board with hashtag McLaren Deloitte on the steering wheel, and we come into the fast right-left chicane. Clips the apex nicely, gets a little bit excessive over the track limits. Colin sets the first time in the session with a 112.4. Colin, aka Galactic Skull 2, coming into the hairpin. Callum J. Spencer is a bit wide, he's very wide away from the apex, so that's going to cost him some time. JD, his teammate, meanwhile sets the fastest lap. Ironically, KB Killerzone, who we were just talking about, stays well and truly out of the way, and Callum J. Spencer heads up to the chicane for the final time, and we will watch and see just where he can put himself between JD and Welsh Void would be my guess. Maverick sets a 1:11.9, so he throws himself into the mixture across the line, and he actually goes fastest with a 1:11.0, so that's a good lap from Callum J. Spencer, really getting underway. So who else is on a lap? I believe Mr. Norfolk may be on a lap of his own right now, about to set his first time of the session. We will watch with that. So the championship from last time out then was Maverick, ended up coming second to JD after picking up some damage, wasn't really able to challenge despite potentially being on a better strategy, but he leads the championship now, I believe, by 106 points to JD's 93 points. Behind them is Norfolk Blue on 76 points. Chazza is next behind them, just 6 points off Norfolk Blue with 70 points. And then next up is Callum J. Spencer ahead of KB Killerzone, just 4 points separating them two. So Norfolk, during all of that, managed to move within 1/10 of a second of Callum J. Spencer. So good effort by Callum J. Spencer to get that time on the board. It looks like people are struggling to match it. There's a lot of guys just coming back into the pits currently after their lap. We'll watch KB Killerzone. This is a guy to watch out for, fast driver, but he's going to abandon his lap and come straight back into pit lane. Gareth Lennon is on an out lap. Ragnar has just started his fast lap, and it would seem that all the drivers are coming in for their change of tyres and to hit it up again. Shout out to Galactic Skull 2, that's a very good, impressive time to be that far in the mix. This is actually Galactic Skull 2's favourite track. We were speaking to him before the race. This is his favourite track on the calendar, and he always tends to have a nice result. Probably his best result of the season will come from this circuit. Callum J. Spencer is once again out on the hunt to try better his lap time. Only a 10th in it, only actually 2 tenths covering the whole top 3, so he can't remain too comfortable. I believe he's out on an out lap currently, or he's abandoned that lap. Galactic Skull 2, is he going to come into pit lane, or is he going to start another lap? He's going to come into the pit lane. Kevin Jacobs coming across the line now. He will start his fast lap. We can watch him and see how he gets on through Sector 1. Car looking pretty well behaved so far, coming into the downhill chicane. Always very tricky to lose the car in there, but he takes it nice and steady and holds on to it. Around the next corner will brake heavily into the braking zone, go left. He downshifted a bit much and had to go back up into 4th gear, so that would have cost him a little bit of time. Heading up to the fast right-left chicane now. We can see on the top right, you can see his sector time through Sector 2, and we'll be able to compare. And I'm not sure what that was, if that was a little bit of lag, but it looks like he messed up the gear change once again, downshifted a bit early, and really hurt himself on that one. He's having some ping issues, is Kevin Jacobs, and has done all season, so that's why things look a little bit strange on the onboard camera there. So you can see the top 6 are all in the pits. JD is actually going out on an out lap. He will try to challenge his teammate for that provisional pole position. 5 minutes left in the session. We are going to watch the end of Kevin Jacobs' lap time as one Norfolk, I believe that was. No, it was not, sorry. Someone just improved massively. And is that Chazza out? As Chazza's retired from the session very early. Chazza set a time and immediately retired from the session. So that's an interesting tactic. Maybe he's obviously trying to conserve his tyre life as much as he possibly can, but that is an interesting way of doing things, because there's still a whole 4 to 5 minutes left on that one. So a bit of a strange tactic there from Chazza, in my opinion, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing. So we can see that Kevin Jacobs went P10 with his lap time. The only really driver that's not set a time yet is KB Killerzone, who's just starting his lap. We can watch him through Sector 1. Getting on the throttle nice and early, the car seeming to obey, and he comes to the fast down, like I said, downhill chicane once again. Very easy to lose it. Oh, nice and cheeky on the apex, coming through into the second chicane now. Breaks down, really smashing through the gears, really punishing the gearbox of that Haas as he comes into the next chicane. These guys, of course, we have a talk about these guys, KB Killerzone and Callum J. Spencer. Not exactly see eye to eye, so he'll definitely be wanting to knock Callum J. Spencer off the top spot, as they had an argument, and KB Killerzone quite proudly announced to himself and everyone that was present that I'm faster than Callum J. Spencer. It's as simple as that. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Who is that for? It is for a Sauber of Welsh Void, who's had a little bit of an off there, a little bit of an adventure, but KB Killerzone coming down the final stretch into the chicane, and we'll have to see what he can do with this, because this guy is a pretty quick driver, always challenging for pole position and the like, and of course he would love dearly to knock Callum J. Spencer off of there. So let's see what he can do, and he does just that with a 110.8, and as you can see, Callum J. Spencer will not be happy with that, and he'll be getting ready to try go out and beat that. I'm sure the likes of Norfolk, Maverick especially, would like another bite of the cherry, as they're guys who tend to be a lot higher than they currently are, so we'll have to see what they can do. Norfolk we will ride on board with as he comes into the final chicane. Is this it? Oh, big lockup for Norfolk. That's kind of compromised him, but he's actually got away with it pretty well, to be honest. So he comes across the line. Is he going to improve his lap time? He does a 110.9. We have a yellow in Sector 2. I'm trying to locate that one. I think it is once again. We have a car in the wall. We do have a car in the wall. Is that KB Killerzone has retired from the session? Huh. Wow, okay, so KB Killerzone is very confident that his lap time is good enough for pole position, and he retires from the session and ends it all there. So will he live to regret that? We're watching Callum J. Spencer, a driver who could do the same. Norfolk now retires from the session, so he doesn't waste his tyres. The idea behind retiring mid-session is because if you do that, there's a very good chance that you don't have to waste your tyres getting back to the pits, so they don't have to do an extra lap. And although it wouldn't seem that important, a lot of drivers do it. I mean, you're still saving a little bit of tyre life, but in my opinion, it's not really worth doing. It's not going to be overly costing if you don't do that. So Callum J. Spencer across the line only improves by a matter of hundredths, and unless he continues, will not be challenging KB Killerzone or Norfolk Blue for that top 3 position. Who else have we got? We've got Galactic Skull really taking some track limit liberties through the downhill chicane. He comes into the second chicane now, brakes very hard, and ooh, he's gone, and he's in the wall. There goes his rear, there goes his front wing, sorry, and that is the end of Galactic Skull 2's session. He's gonna flick spin it and get back around, but made a little bit of an error, got in too hot, got on the accelerator too early, and unfortunately that has ended any chance of improvement for that man. Callum J. Spencer still assaulting. He's 4 tenths up in sector 2. That is the gap to the fastest lap. He is going massively quicker than KB Killerzone through that middle sector right now. Could KB Killerzone retiring, feeling that confident with his lap, could that cost him massively here? Because Callum J. Spencer is on an absolute flyer. On the top right it showed he was 4 tenths of a second up on his time. This is a stonking lap from Callum J. Spencer. He comes out to the final chicane on the run to the line. We'll see where this puts him. Boom! It is pole position for Callum J. Spencer. What a lap time! And that shows why you don't retire. That cockiness has cost KB Killerzone in this unfortunate qualifying session for him. Is this Maverick on his final attempt of a lap? We have a yellow flag in sector 1, but I believe that's Callum J. Spencer just retiring from the session. Welsh Void is on a cooldown lap. We have another car stopping at the hairpin. A few guys just stopping here. So I think Galactic Skull 2 is also trying to do a lap despite being having a damaged front wing, so there's not really much point of him doing that. But Maverick is another guy who's quite low down considering his pace this season, so maybe he's struggling at this track, but we'll have to see if he can improve in the dying seconds of the qualifying session. This will be his final lap, of course, because the qualifying session is over and the game allows you to finish your lap just like real life. We have cars pulled off from the tiring all over the place. He comes down the back straight now, green flags all the way. He's flooring it, but now there's a yellow flag in sector 3 as well, so all this stuff is going to be a little bit distracting, having all these flags and stuff pop up on Maverick's screen. Across the line, goes up to the line. Where does Maverick go? Doesn't improve then, so tough session for Maverick. He starts all the way down in P6, so pretty tough sessions for the likes of Maverick. Of course, JD will, I'm sure, be disappointed to be about 8 tenths off the pace. 6 tenths, sorry. Anel will be a little bit disappointed with 10th, I would feel. Chazza, again, showing his recent form. I think he'd be disappointed with 8th, but he's on the super soft tyres, so there's that to consider as well. Gareth Lennon, I'm sure, will be a bit disappointed with 12 as well. And Super Ninja Skills failing to set a time, so I'm not sure what the issue is with Super Ninja Skills there, but of course, he'll be pretty disappointed, in my opinion. So that is the qualifying session, and the story of that is Callum J. Spencer called the bluff of KB Killerzone retiring and went and took a storming pole position here at Canada. We'll be right back and ready to commentate the race, so enjoy the cooldown lap and incredible stuff. So welcome back. We've had our little break. We're getting ready for the race start. 40 seconds in the session are remaining. Thank you for the clarification. That it was Super Ninja Skills had a qualifying ban from his collisions with Gareth Lennon GL8991 last time out. Interesting that Maverick's AI is not coming into the pits, but having a slow lap of the circuit to himself. That is another thing we do consider. I believe GL8991 did not get a qualifying ban for his incidents with Super Ninja Skills, which I think, in my opinion, my view on that one is that both Super Ninja Skills and GL8991 should have been penalised because they both were driving pretty erratically, in my opinion. But Gareth Lennon got a total of 3 reprimands over the course of that race. So I believe if he gets another reprimand anyway, he will have a qualifying ban. So let's have a look at your grid. Of course, it's Callum J. Spencer ahead of KB Killerzone. That is going to be an interesting battle into turn 1. Norfolk behind them will be wanting to pick up the scraps from anything that happens there. He's ahead of JD, who will be a little bit disappointing with 4th. Welsh Void, reasonably good qualifying ahead of Maverick. Again, another disappointing day for him. And then you have Galactic Skull 2, who will be very happy with P7. Chazza, Ragnar and Anil round out your top 10. Hello, one and all from Canada, the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. We are getting ready for the formation lap here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Callum J. Spencer sits on a lovely pole position ahead of KB Killerzone after calling his bluff in qualifying. It was a pretty tense qualifying session, and I'm pretty sure that the McLaren team will be happy with 1st and 4th. You'd usually expect that to be the other way around, so Callum J. Spencer bringing some serious pace with him to Canada to out-qualify his rival of KB Killerzone, but you can't help but feel that's going to be a very interesting lap 1 because of how these guys get on. So we're getting ready for our qualifying lap. Excuse me. So qualifying lap is a pretty simple, qualifying formation lap, sorry, it's a pretty simple procedure, and as you can see, it's a case of just getting everything up to temperature and getting to the front of the grid, and it looks like KB Killerzone is already pressuring Callum J. Spencer to the grid. Callum wants quite a slow lap by the looks of things, and KB Killerzone wants to get there, get underway. I know a guy who loves to do a quick formation lap is this guy, JD, so he's actually deciding to do some tyre prep this time out. Another interesting one is Kevin Jacobs is up there in front of Welsh Void. That's because Welsh Void has fallen asleep at the start and has unfortunately fallen all the way back down, but of course he will go back to his grid position anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So an interesting tactic, what I can see is happening right now is KB Killerzone is actually creating a little bit of a gap to Callum J. Spencer, trying to block the rest off so Callum sits on the grid by himself and his tyres and stuff cool down while KB's doesn't. But what is happening now is Callum has noticed that is happening and he's actually slowing himself right down so KB Killerzone is right behind him. Callum knows what's going on, and look how close these two are getting. It's almost as if KB Killerzone is trying to pit manoeuvre, trying to get a good swipe on the rear tyre and pit manoeuvre Callum J. Spencer, but that's not what's going on. They're just absolutely raring to go, nose to tail, and it's going to be an interesting first lap, I am very, very sure. I'm standing up for this one. I'm very excited to see how this goes for round 1, for round 7, lap 1 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Excuse me for that little blunder there, so here we go. We wait for the rest of the grid to line up. Here we are then, ready on the grid. For round 7 of the NORL Championship, we get ready for them 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go, and it looks like a pretty equal start, but it looks like Callum J. Spencer gets the better start. KB Killerzone's coming under a bit of pressure from Norfolk Blue into turn 1. Norfolk Blue will seize the opportunity, go to the inside, but he'll have to fight it all the way around the outside if he wants to keep it on that one. JD looking to get involved in a bit of the action as well and get Norfolk potentially. There's collisions going on in the background, I'm sure. I saw a car going around. It's Galactic Skull 2 has gone around on this very early lap. Norfolk getting sideways, and then JD is trying to pounce on him as a result of that. He's going to look up the inside, maybe throw it down the inside. Not going to happen. Great start for Chazza, who's moved up from 7th to 6th. And he is on the super soft tyres, of course. So race 1 is getting very, very underway, and we can see cars everywhere. We've got a Haas passing a Renault on the left. We had a car going a bit slowly. That's Gareth Lennon getting a little bit caught out, coming into the chicane now. He's going to try hold the inside, which turns to the outside. He actually squeezed Kevin Jacobs off the track a little bit there, and wow, what a first lap. So let's take a look at where we are. Callum J. Spencer leads the way from KB Killerzone. Norfolk under pressure from JB. We're going to ride on board with him and see what he can do into the chicane. Now I'm going to take a minute to catch my breath because that was an absolutely mental start. So here we go then. Maverick under a little bit of pressure from Chazza in the background. Field is calming down a little bit. And we had a Renault in the wall there a little bit. That was Nemesis Racing a little bit in the walls. Has he got any damage as a result? And I don't think he is. I'm not sure what happened to Galactic Skull 2, but he got caught up in a midfield tussle towards the back of the grid, and unfortunately has fallen all the way down. So we're taking a look at Maverick chasing down JD, who is chasing down Norfolk, your battle for third, and this is the top 3 of the championship, of course. So very interesting for these top 3 in the championship to be battling for 3rd, 4th and 5th, and it's actually reverse order. So Norfolk is 3rd in the championship but 1st in this battle. JD is 2nd and remains 2nd, and the leader Maverick is all the way back there, coming under a little bit of pressure I think from Chazza. He's going to size up, big lock up from Norfolk into the hairpin. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. The leaders are getting away pretty nicely and the gaps are just starting to ease out just a little bit. And everything's starting to cool down a little bit. We have Kevin Jacobs moving up past Nemesis Racing. Nemesis Racing going side by side with Kevin Jacobs. Wants to get that position back. Does get the position back quite easily. But now Kevin Jacobs looking to the inside, but he needs some slipstream. Galactic Skull 2 getting involved. Passes Kevin Jacobs like he's standing still and goes up the inside of the chicane. Great job from Galactic Skull 2. He gets the position done, and that is a multiple warning penalty though for cutting the chicane for Galactic Skull 2. So he's going to be punished with a penalty. So it's not all over for Kevin Jacobs just yet. How's the battle going for our 3rd place? We can see that JB is trying his utmost to keep the pressure on Norfolk Blue. Norfolk Blue, we should mention, is driving with a shoulder injury this weekend. He's on the wheel, but he's driving with a shoulder injury. He actually had to I believe he did not attend the other NORL race this week, the NOR GT3. He did not attend due to the shoulder injury being a little bit too much for him to handle. So he wants to compete for this though, considering where he is in the championship. But we're going to look up at this battle. KB Killerzone has got one hell of a run on Callum J. Spencer. We'll ride on board with KB Killerzone and see what he can do on Callum J. Spencer into the chicane. Callum's going defensive. KB Killerzone is going to have to do it the long way if he wants to do it. Pulls to the outside, brakes a little bit earlier. Callum J. Spencer better on the brakes. Who will get a better run out the exit of the chicane? We can see it's on board now. JD's moved up into 3rd position ahead of Norfolk. He got him into the chicane, but what is KB Killerzone? He's sizing up a move into turn 1. Down hard on the brakes. Up the inside. Goes a little bit wide. Callum J. Spencer will go around the outside. Contact between the two. Callum J. Spencer retains the place, but there was definitely no shot into that corner. So a little bit of issue between them two. Contact was definitely made, and unfortunately for them, unfortunately for KB Killerzone, his first attack has been unsuccessful, but great action from the top 2 so early on. So here's the DRS detection point coming up on the exit of this chicane. KB Killerzone is well within a second. Will he try and make a move into the hairpin? He will try and make a move into the hairpin. Hard on the brakes. Almost contact. So close. Callum J. Spencer actually outbroke himself a little bit. They're banging wheels. This is absolutely incredible. But KB Killerzone, importantly, will now have the DRS up the inside of Callum J. Spencer, and there's not a lot he can do. Callum J. Spencer can try with all his might, but unfortunately KB Killerzone's got the DRS, and I think he'll have a second bite of the cherry potentially coming onto the midge. Kevin, look at Callum J. Spencer. Contact! Massive contact! Absolute massive contact between the top 2, and KB Killerzone has been put in the wall by Callum J. Spencer, and they've both lost out as a result of that. That is a huge crash, and the rivals have come together. You kind of feel it was coming, but oh my goodness, it just Callum J. Spencer tried to get underneath KB Killerzone, and he couldn't do it, and we have a safety car deployed for the first time this season, and that's a little bit of a saving grace for KB Killerzone. But oh my goodness, the leaders make contact and bring out a safety car for the first time this season. It's a McLaren one too, but a controversial one at that. And oh my goodness, I was worried I was going to be having to do some screaming today, but oh my, that is worth shouting and screaming about, because Callum J. Spencer has just made contact with KB Killerzone after making the move, and they've just had a crash. And these are rivals, so they were always going to be on the absolute limit of giving each other space, and that has happened. So Oh my, can you say controversy? Because I sure can. Here are your tyres. Chaz are up into P5 on his super soft strategy, but luckily for KB Killerzone, it's gonna ruin his race for the lead for sure, but it's not gonna ruin his entire race because he gets to pit and get the front wing change pretty free. Who's coming into the pit? Callum Spencer, I think, has picked up some damage as well, so he's gonna pit. So a little bit of a misfortune for both of them. I'd said they both lost out of that. Maverick's gonna make a tactical pit, so is Welsh Void, but the likes of Callum Spencer and KB Killerzone have to pit, and that was all caused because what happened was he got the move, but Callum Spencer just got such a better run through the chicane, and he tried to get underneath him, and I don't know what really happened from there, because they made contact and he was effectively pit manoeuvred into the wall, and the reason for that, I think he tried to close the door on Callum Spencer, did KB Killerzone. He's put the soft tyres on, he's definitely going to try go to the end. What is Callum Spencer? And he's got super soft, so KB Killerzone's going to try go to the end, so is Maverick, but Callum Spencer I don't think will do it. But that is absolutely incredible scenes. We can see the new leader, JD7, all the way from 4th on the grid, is now leading this race, and you can see behind Chaz getting a bit impatient with Norfolk. But well, JD is really riding that safety car, so there's not much Norfolk can really do. But what happened? It looked like maybe KB Killerzone tried to shut the door on Callum Spencer after he got underneath him, or maybe Callum Spencer just made that little bit of contact when getting underneath him, but whatever happened, Callum Spencer put KB Killerzone into the wall, and I think KB Killerzone is incredibly lucky to not DNF from that, if I'm honest with you. We did run simulation damage earlier in the season, but I believe it was turned down due to some issues, but if that was simulation damage, that would have been lights out for KB Killerzone. But look at it's ruined the race of the pole, it's ruined the race of the front row, and this man, I think, oh bloody hell, so something happened there that caused the whole queue to squeeze up on each other, and they almost made contact again. But these two are going to be going at it hammer and tong from here out. They're going to be so mispleased with each other. We can look at that, we can see who's the biggest gainer. Super Ninja Skills, who had the qualifying ban, is the biggest gainer in all of that. He's up to P6 from P14, so great effort by Super Ninja Skills. He's the biggest gainer in terms of positions, and the biggest losers are both the front row sitters. But first time this season we've had a safety car, and boy did we need it, because that was a huge crash for KB Killerzone, and I wonder why the safety car was deployed. It could have been for debris, but it's pretty weird because he didn't retire, so maybe he hit the wall that hard. The game thinks he really should have retired from that, and brought out the safety car in anticipation, but whatever it did, it allowed Callum Spencer and KB Killerzone to pit and get the damage repaired as a result. So we're watching the safety car go around and around until they believe that the track is all cleaned up. We wait for the safety car in this lap message, and I can see it being pretty rough on the restart between KB Killerzone and Callum Spencer. I think the tensions are going to be rising, and judging by the way JD is back in the pack up, I think that we are about to go racing once again. So we get ready for the start. JD is doing a Sebastian Vettel tactic, and he's launched, so here he goes, running away with a pack. We look down further down the grid, we can see cars. Look at this, cars absolutely everywhere, massive abreast. We have a yellow flag already. What's going on between that battle we were anticipating? Callum Spencer tries to get around the Sauber, does, but not without contact. More contact between himself and Welsh Void. KB Killerzone will now also try to get Welsh Void around the outside into turn 1 and follow his rival through. We can see a Red Bull defending from Super Ninja Skills, that they're making the move, on Super Ninja Skills. KB Killerzone gets past Welsh Void, and Gareth Lennon follows him through on that one. So we have another penalty for Norfolk Blue for multiple track limit warnings. We can see up at the front of the grid, how is that battle going? It looks like JD is starting to drive away. Kevin Jacobs now picks up a penalty for multiple track cutting warnings, and we can see Callum Spencer makes another move on Super Ninja Skills. Great move down the inside, but now KB Killerzone is very reluctant to let Callum Spencer get away. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. What's going on there? There's a bit of contact between the Renault and the Sauber. Looks like Galactic Skull 2 has had another spin, so terrible start and a terrible restart for the likes of Galactic Skull 2, but this battle is starting to heat up. Maverick is on the offensive on Ragnar 184 after making his pit stop. He's trying to go to the end, of course, is Maverick. We can see Norfolk has pulled out a little bit, lost a little bit of speed, and Altanovic, another big gainer onto the whole safety car sector. We have a sector 3 yellow flag. We're taking a look, and it looks like Gareth Lennon has retired from the race. Something has happened to Gareth Lennon that has caused him to retire. So absolute chaos going on at the restart. We have a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't think another safety car will be needed for that. I think he will just despawn, and we should be okay to continue racing. And Altanovic trying to put a little bit of pressure on Chazza, of course. Chazza is on super softs now, as is most of the rest of the grid after they're taking the opportunity to make a very early pit stop. But as you can see, Callum J. Spencer makes a move and KB Killerzone follows him. He's so reluctant to let Callum get away after he'll be screaming at Callum. He will have thought Callum has ruined his race, which is only going to pour more fuel on the fire of that rivalry. We have Kevin Jacobs in the pit, so maybe Kevin Jacobs and Gareth Lennon make contact. Gareth kept going, so it looked like Gareth thought about retiring. We have action here, the Super Ninja Skills and Welsh Void side by side. Don't know who's making the move. I think Welsh Void is making the move on Super Ninja Skills. Gets the job done quite easily, it has to be said. And now we can see Maverick trying to look for a way. He goes around the outside of the hairpin. Surely not. That's going to cost him, and almost running into the back of him was Callum J. Spencer. Maverick is now going to be up the rear of Ragnar, driving up his rear end with a DRS, not enabled yet because of the safety car, of course, so he has to do it the hard way up the inside and just rely that his car has more straight line speed, but it doesn't look like it. The Renault was able to match him, but he gets him under the brakes anyway. Now Callum J. Spencer will be wanting to get a little bit of that action. DRS will be enabled from this lap onwards, so the moves that will be made will be a little bit easier on that one. Is Callum J. Spencer going to try someone up the inside? No, he's not. Maybe for turn 2? No. Thinking about it, but yet again not doing it. KB Killerzone is following that battle very closely indeed. He very much wants us to do whatever Callum J. Spencer wants to do, and I get the feeling any courtesy between these two drivers has gone right out the window. And oh, Ragnar getting very, very sideways. Callum J. Spencer gets forced out wide as a result of that, and now we'll go turn that into a move. So great effort by Callum J. Spencer, but KB Killerzone very reluctant to get away as Ragnar is struggling. Ragnar's lost a load of grip for some reason. It looks like he's got dirt on his tyres, has nothing to fight with, and KB Killerzone will go up the inside, throw it down the inside, cut the corner, but we really got a warning for that, but no penalty as he's not accumulated enough warnings to justify a penalty just yet. But wow, absolute crazy scenes, and it's a little tough to keep up, but our closest battle on track is the one we're most interested in. It's KB Killerzone versus Callum J. Spencer, the guys that were on the front row, the guys that made contact and caused a safety car. KB Killerzone has the DRS. Now this is where contact occurred last time between Callum J. Spencer. This time it's role reversal, and KB Killerzone just decides to follow Callum J. Spencer through on that occasion rather than attack him, and we'll hold off on that one. Altanovic really assaulting the back of the likes of Chazza, who is on older super soft tyres, I believe, and oh my goodness, Callum J. Spencer has now got a penalty for corner cutting, so that will fuel the fire a little bit more for KB Killerzone, I'm sure. But the closest battle right now is the battle between Chazza and Altanovic. Altanovic trying to hunt down the podium position of Chazza. Chazza starting on the super soft tyre. I'm not sure if Anel has made a pit stop or not. We'll take a look. Anel's not made a pit stop either. Okay, so these guys both starting on the super soft tyres, so they both have equal tyre life, but it looks like Norfolk is really struggling. Maybe the shoulder injury coming into a little bit of pain now. Of course, you have to be very aggressive to be quick on this game, and on a wheel that can be quite draining, but big lockup once again from Norfolk, looking like he's lapsing a little bit of concentration. His mind's clearly not in the race-winning state of mind that we're so used to seeing from Norfolk, so a little bit unfortunate that he's coming under a little bit of pressure from Chazza, who's coming under a little bit of pressure from Anel Tanovic. Gareth Lennon picks up a penalty. We ride on board with Altanovic coming into the final chicane. DRS will open, wide open. This is your battle for second. Norfolk from Chazza from Altanovic, and about a second back is Maverick as well, of course. So we can see coming into turn 1, no moves are going to happen on that occasion, but it looks like Chaz has got his bearings a little bit back, and just behind them is the battle Maverick ahead of Callum J. Spencer and KB Killerzone. If you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. What has happened is these two, Callum J. Spencer and KB Killerzone, starting on the front row of the grid, but as a result have had a collision together, and that has caused these guys to drop down to 6 and 7 after a safety car period. But we can see 2nd to 7th all in the same panning shot, so that's really cool to see how close these guys are. Anil Tanovic looks like he got a little bit of a problem there, but Callum J. Spencer looking to go up the inside and get the job done and put a car between himself and KB Killerzone, but it looks like Maverick very reluctant to let that one go. Maverick fights him very hard. That's going to be very inviting for KB Killerzone all the way. He gets a double slipstream but nowhere to go with it. Callum J. Spencer looking to go the inside of the hairpin, and KB Killerzone's going to try following through. Callum J. Spencer goes a little bit wide, and that's going to allow KB Killerzone to get 2 in 1, and it's all this again. It's the same situation again. The side by side coming down the straight to the final chicane, and is collision going to happen once again? We're not sure. Look how close them three are just ahead of this battle, but it looks like KB Killerzone's going to be ahead in the braking zone. Callum J. Spencer reluctant to let that one go, but as a result of the previous content, I think he's a little bit more careful on that occasion. So they both get Maverick on the soft tyres. KB Killerzone makes 2 moves in 1. Great initiative by him. We can see the battle ahead is getting pretty close between Chazza and Anil and Norfolk. JD leaves the race by a comfortable 3.2 seconds. He's got a lovely gap in case he makes a small mistake. You want about a 2-second gap at all times, so he's pretty golden right now is JD7, but this battle's getting ever the closer. Anil Tanovic looked like he got a bit of a better run than Anil Tanovic coming into the next right-left chicane. Is he going to throw it up the inside? He's thinking about it, decides not to. We got a yellow flag in sector 3, and we have Gareth Lennon going off and spinning, trying to rejoin, and I think that's it for Gareth Lennon. Has he decided to retire? No, he thought about it once again, and there it is. Gareth Lennon has retired from the session, so I think he had a collision going into the hairpin, and he's just very displeased about that and has decided to retire. So who could he have had a collision with? We're not sure. We'll have a look on the race director a little bit later, but right now we're concentrating on Chazza because he has DRS on Norfolk Blue, but nowhere to go with it. He'll have a second bite of the cherry. Norfolk Blue pits then. That is going to give the initiative to Anil, who gets a little bit of a slide out of the final corner. Look at this. KB Killerzone and Callum J. Spencer closing in. Maverick weaving in the background to get some heat in his tyres. But the net second place driver, Chazza, leads this battle from Anil Tanovic, from KB Killerzone, from the 2 rivals, Callum J. Spencer behind him, of course. Them 2 came together, not in the best of terms with each other. Norfolk has spot on the soft compound tyres, looking to go to the end from here on out. Callum J. Spencer looking and thinking about going for a move on KB Killerzone. Gareth Lennon leads, and what's this? We have a virtual safety car deployed. I think that's for debris then in the final sector. So this is either very good or very painful for Norfolk Blue, because he's just made his pit stop and his outlap is going to be quite considerably easier because he pitted. So anyone who pits, I think we might see a few guys pitting this lap, because this is very good for these guys. Oh, Maverick gets a penalty for speeding, a drive-through penalty in fact, for speeding under the virtual safety car. I think the virtual safety car has ended and we can go racing once again, and KB Killerzone is looking to make a move on Maverick, on Anil Tanovic, sorry, straight away. But he has DRS as well, and he'll try use the slipstream of Chazza to defend a little bit, but he's pulled to the inside anyway. He's going to have to do it hard on the brakes up the inside, gets the job done and gets 2 in 1 again. Surely not. Forces Chazza off the track, and himself, Chazza, will be furious about that, and Anil Tanovic is going to try and make the situation 3 wide. We have 3 abreast coming into turn 1. They're getting very, very close indeed. It looks like KB Killerzone's been forced off again, and he goes for a slide the long way. He tried to do it all the way around the outside, couldn't do it. He spun off and lost another handful of positions. Oh my goodness me, it's not a good day in the office for this man at all. He got squeezed off in a situation that was 3 wide, and now Callum J. Spencer is going to try force the issue again. He gets 1, and now he gets 2 up the inside of Anil Tanovic. Anil Tanovic is going to try cut back and go all the way around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes, he is. But Callum J. Spencer's coming back into the next chicane, and I've got to stop in a minute because I've got a lump in my throat, much like Murray Walker, and I've got to take a break. But he forces Anil Tanovic off the track, does Callum J. Spencer, but he's still right with him. The battle for second is still very much on. He's going to throw it up the inside once again, unable to do anything. Things better of it, but Anil Tanovic goes a little bit wide, going to forfeit the position to Callum J. Spencer. As a result, is Chazza going to be interested in that? I think he just might be. Maverick is involved in the action as well, but also has a drive-through penalty, so he's got that to consider as well. Excuse me. Chazza going to go up the inside of Anil Tanovic into the chicane. Anil Tanovic dives off into the pit lane and decides now is the time to pit, as does the leader JD7, so he'll sacrifice the lead to his teammate Callum J. Spencer ahead of Chazza, ahead of Maverick, who also has a drive-through penalty yet to serve. Behind them it's Welsh Boyd catching his trail alone nicely. Then we have KB Killerzone who made a mistake by going on the outside of that free wide situation into turn 1. And what a race it always seems to be when I'm on my own commentating at Canada. I'm lost for words and I'm lost for breath. I commentated the ISRA IC here at Canada, and it was just as much of an action fest. So thank you, Canada, for giving us action, but not thank you for destroying my voice box. Here we have Ragnar assaulting Kevin Jacobs. Ragnar picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings once again. Ragnar looking to make the move on Kevin Jacobs. Behind him is Galactic Skull 2, looking to pick up the pieces if these two come together. Is he going to throw one here? The inside is turning Colin! Oh my goodness! These three oh my god, what a huge crash between the two! I think Galactic Skull 2 realises he was at fault for that one. Lets Ragnar back through. Surely he'd let Kevin Jacobs through as well, but Kevin Jacobs, the innocent party on that one. Oh my goodness, so what happened there was Ragnar tried to make a move at the exact same time as Ragnar did. But Colin was coming from a long way back, took a lesson from Daniel Ricciardo. Caused a freeway collision, and this man, the innocent party, Kevin Jacobs, will be taking these guys to the stewards, I think, as a bit more front wing falls off that Toro Rosso, so he may have to pit for some front wing damage. Anil Tanovic is battling meanwhile with Nemesis Racing, climbing himself back up after his pit stop. Good stuff from Anil Tanovic, gets the job done nice, quick and clean. Maverick, of course, has just served his drive-through penalty, so unfortunately for him, he's out of the action for the battle. The battle for first currently is pretty much over, but it looks like the net lead could still be very much in this man's hands. JD, as he makes a little bit of a lock-up into the chicane, gets the job done. KB Killerzone is 9/10 of a second behind Welsh Void, and we'll have DRS on him, but we're going to turn our attention to Norfolk Blue, who's chasing Nemesis Racing. We have a virtual safety car deployed once again. So we're going to try and take a flick through and try and find out what's happened there. There may be debris on the circuit. The virtual safety car deployed once again. So if you wanted to pit, now would be an extremely good time to do so. Welsh Void sees that opportunity and comes into the pits himself, so this could help Welsh Void later on in the race a lot, and it could hurt JD7 a little bit in his quest to get the undercut. Virtual safety car is going to remain out for a little while. Wonder what that was for. We watched the pit stop then of Welsh Void. He's going to put the super soft tyres on, so he thinks he can get them supers to the end. A lot of guys, like I say, ahead of him on the soft tyres. He's got two cars ahead of him on the soft tyres. Virtual safety car has ended at the perfect time for Welsh Void. He comes out fighting with Anil Tanovic. Is he going to try and make a move up the inside immediately? This would be very, very risky, because Anil Tanovic will want the position as much as he can. There's a bit of a poor shot. There was contact, I'm sure, between the two there. Anil Tanovic tried to hold it, but inevitable contact was made. The camera gave us a bit of a poor shot, so we couldn't see that one. Norfolk Blue is going to try and get past Nemesis Racing, locks up in trying to do so. Nemesis Racing fighting for dear life in the Renault. Of course, the Renault yet to pit, I believe. We can find that out right now, actually. Has the Renault had a pit? I don't know, but he's getting overtaken regardlessly. So they both pitted, so this is a legit position. So that's why Nemesis was trying so hard to keep that position, but unfortunately the Ferrari was a faster car, got the job done. Kevin Jacobs will be, again, bitterly disappointed with being caught up in that. He was a complete innocent party, and I'm sure he'll take them to the stewards over that one. So now the job is done for Norfolk Blue. Nemesis Racing may just have a little bit of DRS to help him mount some sort of comeback into the chicane. Is he going to be able to do anything with it? Super Ninja Skills gets a time penalty. We're going to take just a quick brief moment here. Apologies for that. Back to the racing. We're going to, while the gaps have fanned out a little bit, we can watch Welsh Void hunting down Maverick. Will be the next battle you will see on circuit. We're waiting for that to come down a little bit. He's brought it with him 5/10 of a second. He'll be well and truly in DRS zone for the back straight. He'll be the only car to be in DRS range of any other car currently. So this will probably be the most likely opportunity we see for a move. Maverick on the soft tyres, Welsh Void on the super sauce. A compound lighter, a compound softer, a compound faster. Chaz are now pits, finally, from the super sauce. Looks like Maverick's going to force Welsh Void to do just the long way, but it looks like Maverick has very good top speed, which prevents Welsh Void from doing much. He'll need a very good exit, and these guys are going to be close coming out the pit lane with Chazza. They are. So Chazza coming towards the end of the pit lane. Here comes Maverick. Where's Chazza? Chazza's lost out massively by going for such a long strategy and drops down all the way to 8th. Meanwhile, Welsh Void was unable to get the move on Maverick done, but he did this before, made contact. Is he going to make contact with Maverick, trying to make this move? No, he thinks better of it. Probably learned from past experiences that 2 doesn't go into 1 in that one. Stays out of it for now. Is he going to try and make a throw up the inside of Maverick? No. Stays behind once again. But the problem here is they're letting Anel Tanovic catch them back up. And he doesn't have the speed in a straight line, it seems, to get past Maverick. It looks like Maverick is running a much lower downforce setup than these guys. Maybe that's why he's struggling in the corners. But that's helping him a lot in the straight lines, I'm sure. I'm almost certain Welsh Void will try to make a move into the hairpin here. He's going to try it, and he's going to try do it around the outside, and now he's going to try get a tighter line for the undercut, and now that will bring him side by side, level turns with Maverick. But again, Maverick has that better top speed, so he can start running away before Welsh Void can activate his DRS. DRS gets activated now, and just look at Maverick pull away. So Welsh Void is running a lot of downforce here, and that's costing him. JD sets the fastest lap of the race while he waits for them two at the front to pit. They pitted under safety car, of course, and now Welsh Void finally gets the opportunity he's looking for. Surely he'll have this up the inside into turn 1, side by side. Job done on the brakes. Maverick put up a good defence considering he didn't have DRS. But oh, is that Maverick trying to come back? Got a little bit of his front wing caught up with a tyre there. No damage, luckily. Anel Tanovic now gets a sense of opportunity going up the inside of Maverick. Job done. We had a brief yellow flag. I'm not sure that. Oh, it's Welsh Void! What happened to Welsh Void? We didn't see that, but Welsh Void has gone off somewhere. Misery for Welsh Void. He finally got past Maverick and now is back behind him, and we have another virtual safety car which will help this man, Colin McAllister, who needed a front wing change. He will take the opportunity of a virtual safety car. Callum J. Spencer leads the race, but I'm not sure he'll get those. Super soft to the end. KB Killerzone could very much get the softs to the end, but they'll be fighting for grit towards the end of the race. So this is the time where you start considering that as a driver. Is that we can see on the rear camera there that Welsh Void has damage to the front left look of his front wing. So he gets very close to Nemesis Racing. We're about to go racing once again. Welsh Void is trying his hardest to size up, get ready, and Maverick gets another drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. So Maverick's got to stop doing that. He'll try to do this exact same move he got done to Maverick, does it more successful. Job done for Welsh Void, but he's got massive front left wing damage. Getting a bit tight here. Maverick comes in and decides to serve that penalty. Norfolk gets another penalty for cutting the corner, but that's not going to stop him assaulting Anel Tanovic anytime soon. Is he going to try and make a move into turn 1? He'll have to do it up the inside if he chooses to. Little lock up for Norfolk Blue. That makes the move unmakeable. Chazza will now drive with a brand new Ultra Softs. That was his strategy all along, to get some tasty tyres at the end to try and make moves on the cars in front of him who are going to be on the dead, older, harder compound tyres. It doesn't look like it's going to happen for them at this point. He'll just have to follow this gang for just a little bit longer. And Chazza's advantage is going to be traction. If he's going to make a move, he's going to do it by getting better traction out of the corner than the likes of Norfolk, and I think he'll fancy a pop up the inside and try catch Norfolk napping into the hairpin. We'll see if he does just that. Yeah, I thought so. He thought about it, tried to psych Norfolk out by looking to the inside. Didn't really work for him, but here we go. Will he get better traction? He actually got on the throttle too early, and that's going to cost him just a little bit. He'll have DRS, but of course Norfolk will have DRS as well on Anel Tanovic, so the two will sort of cancel each other out. So there's not much point in that DRS for Chazza at the moment because it didn't really do much, but Norfolk gets a really nice run on Anel Tanovic, gets a little bit of DRS to boot. Will he be able to make the move this time on Anel Tanovic? He'll throw it up the inside. I'm sure Anel will fight it with all his might. Of course, Anel will hold the inside line, but that's going to invite Chazza to get side by side with Norfolk into the downhill chicane. Doesn't look like that. It looks like Chazza is really aggressive on the throttle, which is struggling to get traction, and now Anel makes a bit of a mistake, goes a little bit deep. That's going to allow Norfolk to potentially make a move into the next chicane. It will ping some out. It looks to the inside, locks up. That's going to give Chazza an opportunity. Chazza doesn't take the opportunity, thinks better of it. And these three are stuck together like glue. They can't shake each other. And it looks like Chazza's thinking about throwing one up the inside here at the hairpin. Thinks better of it once again. Looks like Norfolk's tyres are getting a bit overheated. Struggling to keep that thing in a straight line. Is Chazza going to throw it up the inside of the chicane? He is so close, almost pushing Norfolk through the final chicane there, through the hairpin, sorry. Callum J. Spencer has pitted from the lead. He couldn't get the super soft to the tyres to the end. I didn't think he would be able to. And what's important for him now is he comes out in clean air, so he can try pressure KB Killerzone. JD looking like he could very much take the win of the race here. He's closing in on KB Killerzone, but the battle right now is still this group. Callum J. Spencer would have loved to come out ahead of these groups, but it looks like they're going to be far enough away that they're not going to compromise his race too much. Norfolk just can't make the move on Anil Tanovic at this stage in the race, and Chazza's brand new Ultrasofts are not doing much for him against the Ferrari because of the driving style differences. Maverick will now get ahead of Nemesis Racing. Nice and easy move for him. A 3-second time penalty for Callum J. Spencer, I'm sure, will become an issue later in the race. I don't believe KB Killerzone or JD have any warnings at all currently for corner cutting. Chazza now thinks this is his opportunity for a move. He's going to try go up the inside, thinks better of it. The camera angle, it's not the best on Chazza's car, so we can't watch on board with him, but we watch on board with Norfolk as he's sizing up Anil Tanovic. Surely he's going to have a pop up the hairpin. This is his best opportunity yet. Throws it up the inside, lock up, and Altanovic again will fight it, try to hold the outside line. Is it going to be possible? We have a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. Welsh Void has retired from the session. Has Welsh Void had a crash? He has. Welsh Void is out of the race, and that could very much be another safety car here. We have yellow flags. These guys still battling. Norfolk up the inside, virtual safety car deployed. So who gets that position? Is it Anil or is it Norfolk? And it looks like it gave the position then to Anil Tanovic. Or has Anil Tanovic been caught napping because he's going very fast considering the virtual safety car? But it looks like the game gave it to Anil. Virtual safety car was deployed when Anil was ahead. Wow. So, we have another retirement in the form of Welsh Void. We've got Nemesis Racing has got a 5-second stop-go penalty for a severe collision with Maverick. Did they make contact under the virtual safety car? That's a big penalty for this guy, but we're more concentrated on this because as soon as the virtual safety car ends, one of these guys could be caught napping. Here we go, I think virtual safety car has ended then. Was anyone caught napping? Doesn't look like it. Looks like they were all eager to get going once again. Norfolk will have to do the hard work all over again on Anil because the virtual safety car was deployed when Anil was ahead, so he had to forfeit the position back to Anil Tanovic. No DRS, I don't believe. In this instance, we'll find out. Am I right or am I wrong? Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, so there is DRS involved, so this should be pretty easy stuff for Norfolk if he has the top speed. He'll have to throw it up the inside into the chicane. Anil really good at fighting these positions though. Anil was a very tough drive to get past, so great stuff from Anil. Great to see him so feisty today. I love Anil. Anil is a great battler. As a driver who I've battled against him myself, he's very good at fighting, but Norfolk goes with a double lockup, gets the job done. Anil will hold the inside line once again, but who will get the better traction at the final corner? This could compromise Norfolk in his battle against Chazza, because now Chazza fences a move of the inside. This is Chazza's best opportunity. Chazza's more contact between Norfolk and Anil Tanovic then. Excuse me. All getting very, very tense toward the front of the grid. Looks like Norfolk may just get the traction he needed to make a move into the next chicane. Does he fancy a pop? He's got to try find a move where he's napping. The bad thing is for them now, Callum J. Spencer's now catching this, and this is detrimental for Callum J. Spencer's race, as well as these guys' battle. Norfolk will now try go around the outside of the final hairpin. Is he going to be able to do it? No, Anil Tanovic is there once again, but he gets the undercut side by side. But is Anil Tanovic's car that bit quicker in the straight line again? It is. It starts pulling away a little bit of rubber banding. It's hard to judge where one another are, but of course these guys have got a race with that rubber banding, so a lot harder for them. Norfolk side by side with Anil Tanovic will throw it up the inside of the final chicane, hard on the brakes, job to good un. Gets the job done finally, and now Chazza will want to make quick work of Anil Tanovic if he wants to keep with the guy he's racing on that ultra soft strategy. Will he throw it up the inside into turn 1? No, doesn't have the confidence to do so. Callum J. Spencer has closed right on in on this battle as well. Anil Tanovic looking like he's losing grip all the time, squirming coming out of the traction zones. Have about 8 laps of the Grand Prix to go. And it's looking like Anil Tanovic's tyres are crying enough. This battle is holding up Callum J. Spencer, and it looks like an opportunity of a win for Callum may be fading the longer these guys battle. Chazza thinks again about another move on Aneltanovic, doesn't have the confidence to do it. A man that we know has confidence of overtaking. Right behind them is Callum J. Spencer. He's going to look to the inside. Is he going to try and make a move? No. The guys are rubber banding a bit for him, and he's a little bit cautious as a result of that. DRS will come into play for all of these guys, I'm sure, so it should cancel out any DRS advantage for all cars apart from Norfolk. Too far back to do anything. Gets really close on the braking though, so he's got the better brakes. Gets the better run. Will that allow him to make a move into turn 1? This is his best opportunity in a long time. Pulls to the inside, gets hard on the brakes, get very close, make a little bit of contact. That's going to invite Callum J. Spencer. Callum J. Spencer bangs into the side pod. He didn't need a second invitation to get a bit rough, and unfortunately was unable to do anything. It's really, really close as that Chazza braking a bit early caught him out. Aneltanovic gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting that corner. The penalties are very, very, very strict on this game. Of course, you can't take much liberty with the track limits at all. Sometimes you even get penalties for just using apexes, so you've got to be really careful with the penalty system on this game. Chazza getting a bit impatient, and another driver getting impatient is this man Callum J. Spencer, 100%. The longer this goes on, the more frustrated Callum's going to be, because he can see that win fading away. JD takes the lead quite easily. And oh, was that Aneltanovic having to defend from Chazza? Goes a little bit wide as a result, side by side. KB Gillison gets his first penalty of the day. Side by side action then for Chazza and Aneltanovic. Is he finally going to get the move done? It looks like he is. Aneltanovic is very reluctant to let that one go though, and I get the feeling they might try someone up the inside of the chicane. No, lets it go, admits defeat, that them guys are on the faster tyre, and there's not much he can do. Next up is Callum J. Spencer. How long will it take him? It took Norfolk about 4 laps. It took Chazza about 3 laps. Can Callum J. Spencer do it in 2? Yes, he can. We have a car off ahead. Kevin Jacobs has retired from the Grand Prix. Yellow flags might have prevented Callum J. Spencer from completing that move. Not allowed to overtake, of course, under yellow flag conditions. So that would have halted his progress just a bit more. I can feel him throwing a move here. Yes, he is. A Daniel Ricciardo style dive bomb, but loses the rear of the car as a result, and loses a bit of time, and Aneltanovic will keep the place. That's just showing the frustration going on for Callum J. Spencer right now. But now Chazza has closed back in on Norfolk, wants the podium off Norfolk. He's going to pressure him all the way to the hairpin. Is he going to make a move in the hairpin? Thought about it. Didn't have the confidence to do it. Another battle going on the track at the moment is Ragnar battling his teammate Nemesis Racing. We'll try our best to keep an eye on that. Chazza gets the DRS. Obviously looks like he's much more comfortable in the middle sector, which could indicate that Norfolk are running less downforce than Chazza, which comes into play so much on this track on these straights, because it's impossible to make a move with such high downforce when the car has such low downforce. Look, DRS just doesn't seem to be apparent. Callum J. Spencer was very, very close to Aneltanovic for just a second there, didn't do anything with it. Nemesis Racing is still defending from his teammate. We'll watch this. No DRS between the pair, so it looks like Ragnar actually got past Nemesis Racing in the hairpin, so my apologies there. That move's done and dusted. Next battle then we can keep our full attention on is Chazza and Norfolk and Anel and Callum J. Spencer. Callum J. Spencer very close, wanting to get the traction off the corner so he can make a move up the inside into that hairpin. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. Up the inside is the move on Callum J. Spencer. No, it's not. Chazza forced Norfolk to lock up just a little bit. Norfolk right up the back. I'm sorry, Chazza right up the back of Norfolk. Anything into the hairpin? No, just a lock up from Norfolk Blue. Callum J. Spencer made a dive bomb though into the hairpin. And now we'll drag side by side with Aneltanovic down the straight. They'll have to do a duet into the chicane once again. Looks like DRS is going to help him. But Aneltanovic staying in the slipstream is a very slippery car in the straight line regardless. But I think he will admit defeat once again. Job is done for Callum J. Spencer. Chazza lost a little bit of time to Norfolk on over the course of that lap. Gaps are spread out a little bit after such a crazy race. It's JD that leads by a nice 4.4, going for his second victory in a row. KB Killerzone on his return is up in second after having a collision with Callum J. Spencer, who's down in fifth trying to fight his way up the grid. Aneltanovic picks up another penalty. Next up is Norfolk Blue, driving with a shoulder injury this weekend, up in third, respectable given the circumstances. Chazza made a super soft strategy to pull him up into this position to give him fresh tyres for the end. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't look like he's able to do much with that. Callum J. Spencer was the causing man of that collision for the lead, and I'm sure that will be investigated. Who will be penalised for it, though, it's hard to say. We only got one view of it live. The stewards, of course, will get multiple views from multiple angles, and they'll be able to make a fair decision adrift for Callum J. Spencer coming out of the hairpin there. Maverick, a disappointing day for him. 2 separate drive-through penalties, along with some corner-cutting penalties too. Just not at the pace, just been unlucky. Been trying his luck under the virtual safety car to try minimise the deficit he has. Callum J. Spencer picks up a penalty for that chicane. Didn't look like he did anything necessarily criminal, but gets the fastest lap, so obviously he found some time there, no matter what line he took. Chazza, once again, going to apply the metaphorical blowtorch of pressure to that Ferrari. Callum J. Spencer's actually closed on him a lot through that first sector. Callum J. Spencer fancies a go at Chazza here. Is he going to be able to do it into the next chicane? I think he's going to think better of it, yeah. I think that was a little bit risky for Callum J. Spencer. But these three have closed in on each other once again. Callum J. Spencer is going to try find Chazza napping. That's where he found him napping. Chazza had to get out of it because Norfolk locked up, went wide, so Chazza tried to take the inside. Made a little bit of a mistake of his well, understeered off the corner. Callum J. Spencer saw that opportunity, went for it. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do anything. Battle is most definitely on. Great battle for third place then. So if you're just joining us, welcome along to the stream. A little race update. It was actually Callum J. Spencer and KB Killerzone who shared the front row until the two leaders took each other out and caused a safety car, and the whole race has been a gamble of strategy as a result of that. Callum J. Spencer, of course, got his damage repaired at the pit stop, so he shouldn't have to worry about anything like that. It's just all out now until the end. We have 2 laps to go here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. You're watching Norfolk Blue 1234 versus Chazza 35687 against Callum J. Spencer, Ferrari versus Mercedes versus McLaren. 3 very quick guys. Chazza all improving all the time, improved massively from his season last season. It's a great effort by him. He's getting impatient behind Norfolk though. It doesn't look like he can find a way through, and it looks like more and more like it's very hard to follow on this track and very hard to keep a move on. We just had Super Ninja Skills make a move on Nemesis Racing. That was close, and Nemesis Racing looks like he has damage, potentially. He does. It's very apparent as he's understeers that he's got end plate missing on the front of his car as a result of that, so he may have made contact. I'm sure the stewards will look at that one. But another problem for Callum J. Spencer is Chazza keeps getting DRS off Norfolk, so his DRS isn't that effective. He's going to have to look for somewhere else to do it. The hairpin is a popular spot. We've seen a lot of moves made at the hairpin here today. I'm sure the crowd are enjoying that one. He's up the rear, very close to Chazza now. Closest he's been in a while. McLaren, sponsored by World's Fastest Gamer, the World's Fastest Gamer Championship finales. Very close to beginning, of course. Using this game to help decide that. So very close this will get. But it looks like they're all able to follow each other, but then no one's able to find any weakness on the other driver. See Galactic Skull 2. It's going to make a move on a struggling Nemesis. Nemesis should really pit for that damage, because just look how the car is behaving. He takes to the grass. And it looks like Nemesis is having a really bad issue after losing that front end plate. Chazza has lost a position to Callum J. Spencer. I very, very much apologise for missing that. But Callum J. Spencer got the move done, presumably with DRS out of the chicane. Job done for Callum J. Spencer. Next up is Norfolk Blue, and I'm positive, I promise you will catch that one. Unless Chazza is able to come back and get anything. Maverick picks up another corner cutting penalty. Disappointing day for himself. Anil Tanovic is only 3.5 away from this battle on the soft tyres. A great effort from him for sticking with this battle. Looks like Chazza really wants to come back at Callum J. Spencer though. It's not going to let him go. So it's, oh, as he gets a bit of a slide, that won't help him though. See the front left tyre, a little lock up as it aims for the apex. And that is JD winning the race. JD7 wins the race then here at Canada. KB Killerzone will come home second. This battle looks all but finished. And it looks like Norfolk Blue will hold on to his podium. Callum J. Spencer ran out of laps after his collision with KB Killerzone. Dropped him and he had to drive back through the field. Looks like he will finish just ahead of Chaza and Altanovic behind them. But it looks like all the other battles pretty much done. But Galactic Skull 2 is looking for a final lap move on Super Ninja Skills. He's certainly within DRS range. 0.6 of a second. What will happen into the final chicane as Galactic Skull 2 gets a little bit sideways? Will that cost him his opportunity? He's bleeding time all the way down the straight. But just how much downforce are these two guys running in comparison? Look at Super Ninja Skills. Try to get rid of the slipstream from behind him. I think Galactic Skull 2 will run out of time unless he gets a very good exit, to which he will not. But our winner, JD7, was the man who picked up the pieces after this man crashed out. And I'm sure there will be a lot of controversy going on in the steward's room after this race. We're going to go to the podium now and see the winner of JD7 take his second win in a row. Great job to JD7 for his second win in a row, second victory in a lifespan of 2 weeks, 2 races. Great effort by McLaren to get him up there. Fortunately, KB Killerzone and Callum J. Spencer, that is a story of what could have been, and again, another trip to the steward's office for a race-defining moment. Very interesting. The Welshman takes yet another victory. But was that victory decided by the two leaders coming together? KB Killerzone and Callum J. Spencer. We could just see how many penalties were dished out that race. Canada is also always a very, very harsh track for penalties. So JD7 wins from KB Killerzone and Maverick all the way down there. That's going to really affect his championship. Chaza got Maverick on penalties in the end, and Altanovic got Callum J. Spencer on penalties in the end. So Chaza goes on the podium as a result of those penalties. But that is your race for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. It was full of controversy, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did here in the commentary box. So thank you ever so much, guys. And until round 8, it's goodbye for now.